Cleopatra's meeting with Julius Caesar in 48 BCE was no ordinary political encounter. It was an act of masterful stagecraft. Smuggled into the palace in a rolled-up carpet, she emerged not only to plead her case, but to captivate the most powerful man in Rome. Her wit, beauty, and boldness caught Caesar off guard. This was not a woman begging for favor. This was a ruler claiming her right. Their alliance was swift, strategic, and scandalous. With Caesar's military backing, Cleopatra defeated her brother Ptolemy the Untold in the Alexandrian Civil War. The young king drowned in the Nile, and Cleopatra emerged victorious, crowned once again, this time truly in power. She bore Caesar a son, Caesarion, and presented the child as heir not only to Egypt but to Rome's legacy. Together they ruled for a brief but dazzling time. Cleopatra traveled to Rome, where her presence shocked the Senate and seduced the people. She lived in Caesar's villa, dressed in opulent silks and gold, speaking multiple languages, engaging with philosophers, and leaving whispers in every corridor. Though Caesar never married her, her influence was undeniable. Rome trembled at the sight of an Eastern queen challenging its dominance, not with swords, but with seduction and strategy. But fate shifted quickly. In 44 BCE, Julius Caesar was assassinated, stabbed to death by his own senators. Cleopatra fled Rome with Caesarion, returning to Egypt alone and uncertain. Her world had changed, but her ambition burned brighter. Egypt still stood, and so did she. It wasn't long before another Roman entered her orbit, Mark Antony, Caesar's former ally, and now one of the three rulers of Rome. Their first meeting was theatrical and unforgettable. Cleopatra arrived on a golden barge down the Nile, dressed as the goddess Isis, surrounded by incense, dancers, and musicians. Antony was enchanted before she even spoke. What followed was one of history's most iconic and passionate romances. Their bond was more than lust, it was political. Together they formed a powerful Eastern empire that challenged Rome itself. Cleopatra gave birth to twins, and later another son by Antony. She granted him wealth and armies, while he gave her power and protection. Their love story unfolded across cities and battles, crowned in luxury, but shadowed by fate. The Roman Senate, led by Octavian, later Augustus, grew hostile. Antony's loyalty to Cleopatra and his rejection of his Roman wife fueled a propaganda war. Rome painted Cleopatra as a sorceress, a seductress who had bewitched a great general. War was inevitable. In 31 BCE, at the Battle of Actium, Octavian's forces defeated Antony and Cleopatra's navy. It was a disaster. They fled back to Egypt, now cornered and hunted. As Octavian's army approached Alexandria, their world collapsed around them. Faced with defeat, Antony fell on his sword, dying in Cleopatra's arms. She mourned but did not crumble. She retreated to her mausoleum, draped in silks adorned in gold, determined to end her story on her own terms. According to legend, she allowed a venomous asp to bite her breast, ending her life with beauty, dignity, and silence. Cleopatra died in 30 BCE, and with her, the Ptolemaic dynasty ended. Egypt became a Roman province. Caesarion was killed shortly after, securing Octavian's uncontested rule. But Cleopatra's legacy did not die with her body. She became eternal. In the centuries that followed, Cleopatra was remembered not just as a queen, but as an icon, a symbol of feminine power, intellect, and seduction. Her life was a tempest of politics and passion, war and wonder. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt and the only woman in history who ruled with such legendary command of both empire and heart. Cleopatra remains a name that echoes through time, not because she was perfect, but because she was unforgettable.